Driving test examiners are on strike today and tomorrow, and it's a dispute about pay and conditions, but it's also about the safety of the new driving test. It's being billed as the biggest shake-up of the test for 20 years, and it comes in today. Now forget reversing round the corner, think parking on the wrong side of the road. The Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency says it's all designed to make the roads safer. And our reporter Harry Kretschmer has been finding out how things will change for people taking the test.
Lovely. OK, it's the first time we've done it, so it's a bit of a challenge. So first of all, we just want to check that the vehicle's secure and with safety and make sure we're in neutral, Charlie. Good?
It's a cold, blustery morning in Horsforth, near Leeds. On a steep hill, learner driver, 17-year-old Charlie Dunsford, is being put through his paces.
Are you happy? Yeah. Lovely. So stay looking out the back window for me. Put your hand on.
Conveniently for Charlie, he hasn't had to look far for a driving instructor.
My name is Dave Dunsford, and I've been a driving instructor for about 10 years now. Teaching anybody, I mean, my son's a bonus. It's always nice to try and help your youngsters out. That's what we do as parents. We want to help our youngsters. Wait for it to come back in again. Brilliant stuff. And straighten up. So at the moment,
Charlie Dunsford is getting his first taste of one of the main changes to the new test. Less of his father, more of this.
Turn left, Broadgate Crescent, then
the sat-nav.
So mirror signal. On your right. Lovely.
I'm Leslie Young, and I'm the Chief Driving Examiner for the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency. It is a big change, and the main reason for us doing this is that we know that new drivers are at very high risk immediately after they pass their test, particularly in the first few months and 1,000 miles. And most of that is due to a lack of experience or exposure to some more high-risk roads, which are rural roads, higher speed roads, complex junctions, and that kind of thing. So we wanted the test to change to try and encourage training to reduce that risk.
My name is David Finney. I have been a DVSA driving examiner for 9 years.
David, we've got your clipboard.
That's correct.
And we're going to go for a drive in my car, and you're going to see how I do.
I even have my little bag here containing the sat-nav.
Excellent. Let's go. Okay, good luck to us.
Okay.
With the new test has come new manoeuvres. Out goes reversing around a corner, in comes parking in a car park, and this one.
turn left.
When it's safe, Harry, I'd like you to pull up on the right, please.
Pull up on the right.
On the right.
The third new manoeuvre consists of pulling up on the right-hand side of the road, reversing for 2 car lengths, and then rejoining traffic. In other words, driving across the road and facing oncoming cars. And it hasn't been universally popular. Dave Dunsford.
The concerns that I've got colleagues of mine talking about is that we have actually seen a case where one of the instructors was teaching this manoeuvre. The pupil had safely negotiated onto the right-hand side of the road and stopped. And while they was about to reverse back 2 car lengths, unfortunately, an older driver was coming towards them and misjudged it and actually drove into the car. And as far as I'm aware, it's probably one of the first cases of this happening.
So, does my examiner, David Finney, share his concerns?
We are experts at controlling the situation. We will never ask them to pull up on the right-hand side of the road in a dangerous situation. If we see a nice lull in the traffic, a suitable comfort zone, if you like, to ask them to perform the manoeuvre, then we'll do so. If we decide this doesn't look suitable, we don't say anything and we'll ask them to do something else.
But not every examiner is so confident, and there are other concerns too. This examiner spoke to me anonymously. She said she didn't want to damage her career. Her words are spoken by one of our producers.
The highway code says do not do this manoeuvre. As examiners, we sit on the side of the car which could get hit by oncoming traffic. It's one element of the new test that's causing many of us safety concerns, and it's one reason we've decided to strike when the new test starts. The biggest reason is that we're just knackered. We're often told to go to tests an hour away from home, and at the start and end of a very long day, with a longer test and hardly any time in between. It's all too much.
My typical day does consist of 7 tests in every day. We generally do 4 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. The 3 in the afternoon generally come without a break in between. It can be rather taxing. Some tests do take a long time. As you've seen today, we've hit a lot of traffic there. It can take us a long time just to cover a short distance. We're forever queuing.
Unfortunately for the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, the Public and Commercial Services Union has seized on the concerns of some of its members and is keen to use the new driving test to make them heard. Paul Barnsley speaks for the union.
We believe these proposals have been rushed through by an employer because it's signed up to introduce a new test, but because it's failed to engage properly with its own staff, we believe the new test needs another look. We think it needs another risk assessment. We think there needs to be further dialogue around the new test for the good of people who use the service, for the good of the road users and for the safety of our members.
This is a strike that has nothing whatsoever to do with this driving test.
Leslie Young from the DVSA again.
They have now started to use this in order to gain publicity, and no, I think it's disgraceful for our customers to have to put up with this level of disruption, which is quite pointless. We did over 3,000 tests with the new type test, which was overwhelmingly supported by the driving instructors that were involved and the examiners and indeed the candidates themselves.
And if you could pull up in a safe place on the left, please, Harry. OK, thank you very much, Harry. So that is the end of the test. I'm pleased to tell you that you've passed. Well done.
I passed?
You have, yeah.
I'm delighted to. I'm absolutely delighted.
The birth of this new driving test has certainly been eventful. But when the dust settles, it will be up to Charlie Dunsford if it is really a success.
Put the parking brake on, neutral.
Your dad's just taken us through some of the new manoeuvres in the test.
Yep.
How did you find them?
When you first look at them, they do look a bit scary. But when you break them down to separate parts, you find out that it's stuff that is quite easy to do once you know what you're doing.
Charlie Dunsford ending that report by Harry Kretschmer. It's 12:31. You're listening to You and Yours on BBC Radio 4 with me, Shari Val. Mark Mardell is here with what's coming up in the world at 1. Mark, can you remember your driving test?
Well, I can just about remember my 3 driving tests in Britain, but I had to take one in the United States when I lived there, and it's very weird. You had to remember the street names for certain drugs, do parallel parking, and remember when you can and can't turn right on a red. I was a bit too enthusiastic about turning right on a red.
Mine was 36 years ago. Well, it would have been, because it was cancelled by a strike by the examiners. I had to go back 6 months later.
Nothing changes. No. But everything's changing in Brussels. Ahead of a critical meeting on Brexit, there are multiple reports.